We'll see if anybody gets on. I'm just here chilling by myself because I can. I'm going to look and make sure that I'm live. Yep. Looks like I'm live. Oh, we got one watching. Who are you? Hit the like button. Tell me what's up. I'm going to pull up my other phone here so I can see the comments, because trying to read them on that doesn't work very well. One day I'm going to go sideways with this and it's going to be great. Matrix. No, just in the internet. Matrix. No, just in the internet. Now I know why people have music going in the background. It's kind of lonely, just sitting here by yourself in an empty room. Those are TRX4M. I need a little box or a bag. These are bearings for just 8x12 bearings. Wayne Hughes, how's it going? They're made in China. That's what they are. Oh yeah, this is like an early prototype of my TRX4M. Maybe it's not an early prototype. Maybe this is current. There's some different options. My IFS. All right. So that is TRX4M parts. Yeah, Wayne, I'm doing great. I don't know if I know you outside of YouTube. Some people are like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, last time I checked. Which honestly isn't that often. Okay. TRX. Are these TRX4M or are these SCX24? It's kind of hard keeping them all straight because they're all so small. I got a couple of ball diffs, I think they call them. It's like a ball bearing squished into two plates, and it creates a differential for little things. But it's cool because you can make it tight, and it's like a limited sliff differential. Bushings and bearings. This looks like TRX4M stuff. Yeah. This is an interior out of my MB18 with IFS. Yeah, this is a cool truck. It's not fast yet, but it's cool. I'm gonna work on those shocks. They are not very smooth. So when you drop it, this goes up and it doesn't really rebound very nicely. The back end rebounds awesome though. Watching this in slow motion is fun. Just tidying up. I think this is an SCX24 hitch. It's kind of cool. I have an aftermarket body I put on one of my SCX24s, and I built a hitch for it, so that's just kicking around. Maybe I should have got some containers to like put this stuff in, but yeah, just drinking my tea, trying to organize stuff. This is a case off of a receiver, and that gets thrown away because I don't need it. There we go. If you guys have any questions, or if you are a subscriber, you know some of the things that you might be interested in, you can chat, tell me about some of the projects you're doing. I was gonna say I could put a link to your channel below, but I don't know if I know how to do that, but if I can, I will. There's one shock. I should have another one of these right nearby because I had to order extras. Yes, I have 6 of these shocks on one of my little trophy trucks, and so I should have 2 more of these somewhere. They can just go in this bag with these things. I've been working so much that I haven't been making videos, and I was like, why don't I just do a live, and then I don't have to worry, well, I don't worry about YouTube, but I don't have to spend the time to make a video because I can go live and people can join me and we can hang out. And it's a lot less effort just to be live. Okay, I did put that in there. I'm gonna separate out some of these little bags, and then they're all gonna find their way into some sort of bin or box. Wondering if Robbie is gonna hop in the chat at some point. This is fun. I'm just going through some of my things. This is a tail light, or what you would call a chase light on Pre-Runner, Trophy Truck, Desert Racer. And it just plugs in and it's got power, but it's designed to run on a couple of power settings. So if you have an LED controller for your RC, you can plug this in. Hi Valerie, how you doing? I actually do know a Valerie, but she is not Valerie Pedraza. Pedraza? Is that how you would say that? I don't speak Spanish, but it looks Hispanic of some sort. And those can go away. I can just start throwing stuff out that I don't need. That's the best part about making your own decisions. Just throw crap away. Who cares? This drive shaft is so chewed up, but it still works. Stacy Curry, how's it going? Where's everybody from? Shoot me, drop it in the comments where you're watching from. You can give like a general region. You could say USA if you wanted, but if you're in the USA, tell me what state you're in. Yep, all of these things I will never use. This is like first prototype laser cut for my 24 scale trophy truck. But I'll never use it because the parts are not refined and they're not, I mean, the laser cut them really well, but I'm never gonna do anything with them. So Do have a tailgate for a tiny Ford Raptor. That's fun. Oh, and the headlights that I'm not using. I will hang on to that though. The tailgate and the headlight thing. Just in case, you know? I get another one of those and I lose it. And here are some gears, I think, for my TRX 4M transmission. So, Valerie, you're watching from the USA. Cheers. Wheel extensions, balls and bolts. I could probably just take those out and put them into my, sort them into my bolts, because I mean, keeping them in a separate package just is not very an effective way to go about it. Numbers. I didn't put numbers on that. The Mias, this guy. I gotta put numbers on him at some point, but I don't really leave enough room for it. So there's that. A couple of tiny zip ties too. Don't need those. Pedraza. Nice. How did you guys find my channel? Was it like a short, or did I just show up as live and you're like, I wonder what's going on? This seems like fun. Or was there a specific video you were searching for and I built that? I'm just interested to know how people come upon things. People would friend me on Facebook and I'd be like, do we know each other? And I'd be like, or they'd be like, nope. Or they wouldn't respond at all and I just won't friend them on Facebook. I'm like, well, I don't need that. If you don't know me, why are you friending me? I just showed up as live. Awesome. Well, Valerie, I am Valeria. Is that Italian or Spanish? This is an RC channel. I do specifically tiny trophy trucks mostly. I do have a couple big ones, but that's kind of like my niche. So it's probably not something that you'd normally be interested in. But thanks for joining. You're one of 2 people right now. So that's fun. Some bits and bobs of plastic. This is a diff cover, so that should go in the axle bag. It's not Italian. Is it Valerie or Valeria? Like, or is it Valerie A? Is Valerie spelled with an I? I should know this. One of my friends is Valerie. I'm a little embarrassed that I don't know that. It's none of them. Perfect. Well, that's that. Ooh, yes, that goes together. Missed the trash can, and that's okay. Tiny truck parts. Yes, where? I think I left my bolts downstairs. Servo stuff. This needs to go in the servo stuff bag. Like that. Electronics, electrical things, electronicals. I'll go over there. I do not need, or do I? Are these current? These might be current pieces. Lots of trophies with happy faces, YouTube play buttons, cat in a box emoji, and then a couple of kids pointing at each other. Is that what's happening here? Ah, friends, they're high-fiving. Number one, baby. Sweet. I mean, I guess I could just print this again. But if it's still If it's the part that works together, why would I print it again when I can just not and have it? And we'll hang on to it. I'll stick this in this bag because these go together. 8 people watching and only 2 likes. I know a lot of people have come and gone because the number has fluctuated a ton. But I'll ask again, where are you guys watching from? Now it just dropped to 4. Oh well. Alright, I got little tiny drive shafts. I have little springs. Little springs, can go in a little spring bag, even though they're different sizes. Can be just where I look when I need little springs. RC Granny, good A. Although at this hour, it's got to be very early for you. Donna, hello. Yes, this goes in here also. Welcome to the party. 10:50 a.m. Nice. Why was I thinking it was going to be earlier in Australia at this point? Anyway. Good morning. Oh wow, lots of little screws. I'm gonna have to get my screw bag. Screw boxes. More zip ties. Ooh, shock collar. No, it's just an actual shock collar. That's a battery thing. Ooh, what are you? Oh, this is a mount for my 2-speed transmission on the Mias. No, Endura. Oh, who makes a 2-speed transmission for the Teryx 4M? I think it's Endura, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be mistaken. It's happened before. This is a chassis, the first prototype for the 24 scale trophy truck, and I basically just need to go through and pull all the screws out of it, and I can throw this away because I did a much better job the second time around. But we'll get to that. Right now I am just picking up some screws and the little parts, you know, the things that are just out there. Threaded rod. Yes, I will hang on to that. I have this whole package trailing arm kit from Mias Racing. This is really cool. This is probably going to end up on this truck when I build it. But in the meantime, it's going in my mini truck parts. Game over. People saying hi to each other, love it. I just dropped something. I don't know, these are brackets for something. That's probably gonna go somewhere else. And this is a die for threading, putting external threads on things. Oh, here are the other shocks. I have 4 more of them. I didn't know I had that many. It's Zebra. How's it going? Not zebra? Or is it zebra? Because I'm American. Okay, we got shocks and springs. I love that. Things are coming together. Magnets. They go over here. Zebra, I am just cleaning up my workspace because this has been in disarray for a very long time. Just a bag of LEDs that need to find a home. They gotta go somewhere. They don't have to go home, but they can't stay here. Actually, they do need to go home, and they can't stay here. Mofo parts. I have not tried any Mofo parts, but I do hear good things about them. So I usually buy the cheap stuff because I can get more things for less money, but then I end up getting the crappy things, and that always turns around to bite you. You almost always forget how much you spent on something when it works really, really well and you don't have to worry about it. When you get something and it doesn't work well, you always regret buying it. Oh, Mofo's got a big sale this weekend. Check that out, guys. Black Friday. Oh yeah, there's sales on everything. You know what? Honestly, I'm thinking about saving for Black Friday next year and just have like a couple $1,000s and just go and buy everything. Save my money all year that I would normally spend on RC parts. I would, but I got some builds to do this year that I'm actually really excited for. A couple of trailing arms that have been adjusted. These are like 24 scale size. They were designed for this little guy right here. You can kind of see. Let's pull the body off. Look at that body. If you guys know who Justin Timberlake is, they go here. They're that piece. So I got a couple extras of those kicking around. If I do another 24 scale thingy, I can use those. So that's good. That's the way to do the Christmas shopping for yourself. You were not wrong, Granny. You're not wrong. Can't wait for Christmas. Yeah, Christmas is going to be fun. It always is. I know some people that are just so diehard Christmas. My wife loves to decorate for Christmas. And so I'll just come home one day and there'll be a tree and things going on. I'm like, oh, you know, there's a fireplace on the TV because you can go to YouTube and just pull up a fireplace YouTube video for like 8 hours. And Christmas music playing in the background of the fireplace. It feels warmer in the house when you put a fireplace on the TV. Give it a try. I have so many AA batteries, and I don't know which ones are half used and which ones aren't. So for now, they will all go in here, and when I need them, then I'll test them. Some more shock springs. They'll go in the spring bag. Yeah, my wife got a tree. She got a little one this year, and it's on our dining room table because that's like right in front of the living room. Well, the dining room window, I guess it is. So you can see it from outside, and we have a very, very tiny house. So it's nice to have a little tree. But we do have a big tree. It's just packed up in storage. TRX IFS parts. None of these, I believe, are any good because I've redone these parts. But I'll show you guys what this looks like. I have the main bottom chassis, so your lower A-arms go in this slot here. This is where the diff fits. And then these 4 spots here with the holes in them go into the chassis where the 4 links would come out the front. And one of these is like an earlier version of the other. I don't know which is which, but I know that I've made newer versions of these in CAD, and they're printed and they're better. So those go away, because I'll just print new ones. Why does it look like a fidget spinner? It's just a piece of plastic that's been engineered to... What did I put it on? Here it is. It basically is this piece right here on this truck, but those are an outdated version. And then you have your suspension arms right here that do their thing. I love RC. It's friggin' awesome. I've been working so much recently that, you know, 12 to 14 hour days. And what all, like, I don't have to maintain this. I don't have to feed them. I don't have to clean up after them. I don't have to pet them. They just sit here and they wait for me. And I come back and they're there. It's kind of nice. Here is the front axle off of that Bronco, because when you buy these, they come with a straight axle, but a full-scale Bronco does not come with a straight axle. Full-scale Bronco comes with IFS. So this is going to go into this bag with axles. So I was talking to this guy, Donna, about, he works for me, and he's into mini figurines for like board games, but they're not board games, but he like paints his little figurines. I'm gonna put this down here because it's loud. He paints his little figurines, and so he's asking me about an airbrush, if I had any experience with one. I've had very limited experience with an airbrush, but I use real big paint sprayers at work. And I was like, that's super cool. And then he's talking to him today about getting like a little RC. I guess this next thing he's working on is a little figurine, but it's a tank or a truck or something for the game, and he wants it to be RC. So I'm like, that's super cool. Little tiny heat shrink. Oh, that's awesome. Because I have little tiny wires that need heat shrink sometimes. Servo parts. Mias. Okay. The first pronunciation, there's going to be 2 pronunciations. Oh, I should do a, let me see. I'm going to see if I can do a poll. Where do we do that? RC Granny, do you know how you do a poll? Maybe I can't do it in the vertical version. Maybe I have to stream from my computer. Start a poll. That's what I'm looking for. It's only 5 in your country. Well, you're in the USA. It's 7 o'clock where I am. How do I add a poll? Have you guys ever looked at these experience points when you're chatting? I guess the #1 chatter gets the most experience points, and if you keep chatting, you stay ahead of everybody. I don't know what it does. I don't even know if they're experience points. It's just like the 1, 2, 3 ranking of engagement. Stats for nerds. Oh, I don't want that. Yeah, I don't know how to make a poll. But the poll was going to be for, is it pronounced me, us, like the words me and us, or is it pronounced muse, like an English person trying to say the word moose? It's a muse. First pronunciation, me, us. Second pronunciation, muse. Which is it? I like that, Donna. For some reason, when I first heard, who was it, Adam from Cape Crawlers, say me, us, I was like, oh, that's brilliant. That's a brilliant way to pronounce that name. And then Trey was live streaming, and he was like, no, it's Muse. I've talked to them on the phone. That's how they say it. And I'm like, dang it. Why would you do that? You had a good thing. You ruined it. Ooh, go to create, and then create a post, RC Granny said, then click on post, and then you have two options in Ask Community. Right, so that's to create a post poll. Is there a way to do that in the live stream? Because I think I've seen people do that within the live stream. But you know what? I'll do it there. Pronounced dead. No. Pronounced husband and wife. Pronounced muse. Me, M-U-O-O-S-E is what I'm going to say. How is Mias pronounced? Post. All right, guys. All right, Valerie. See you later. Go to the post and see. Vote on which one you think it should be, if it should be pronounced muse or mias. I'm more interested in what you guys think it should be, because I kind of trust Trey if he's been talking to them personally, because I've never talked to anybody at Muse. That's probably how I'm going to say it from now on, Muse. All right. So far, I have moved the junk from this shelf to this table. So the shelf is looking very nice. The table is all not. I have quarter 20 bolts to go with this quarter 20 threaded rod. So the reason I have a threaded rod, I'm such a teacher, I like to explain everything. It's because I have this. This is exactly what it looks like. And it does all the things. But the threaded rod is underneath here, and it makes the bed slide in and out. That was an interesting endeavor to engineer that. RC Granny, your computer froze. I'm glad I didn't freeze. Although in Maine, it's getting cold. So I got a working winch, I had a working light bar, and I can adjust the lights on here. This is the Make Stuff Better special brand. This is totally custom. The body is a New Ray Mac, and it comes with the body, the bed, and just a plastic straight chassis with some plastic wheels. And so I unbolted those, but the bed did tilt and it slid. So I used that whole track mechanism and hooked up a threaded rod to a nut and built a little carrier for the thing. And so it, wee, 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 wee. I've got a couple of videos on it. And then the winch here actually works, so I can tow vehicles up onto it with the winch. The fuel tanks. Sorry, this lighting is terrible because I have a light over there. I need to get better lighting all around. But the fuel tanks came with the truck, which was the body and the bed. And I 3D printed, well, designed and 3D printed the bed rails to hold the links and the shocks and to mount the Endura 2-speed transmission. So it is full 6x6, and then a bearing carrier. I don't know if we can see that right here. There's a bearing carrier. So you've got a regular rear shaft, a second rear shaft, and then a front shaft that I trimmed down to go between the axles. Tiny tire syndrome? No, yeah, it doesn't look like your traditional RC truck because everything, the RCs are just like built with oversized wheels always, and I really love the scale look. Even though these aren't like a scale tread on the tires, they're kind of aggressive. I do like the scale look of this. When I build another one, and I will be building more of these, I might put bigger tires on it. There's a guy, the name of his channel is really hard to pronounce. It's Makisig. I'm gonna have to look it up. I can't even remember. But his channel has blown up. He's got like 40 or 50,000 subs now, and I started watching him when he didn't even have 1,000, I think. But yeah, I'm gonna look up his channel and see if I can link it in the chat. Makisig RC Garage Performance, 43,000 subs. Bye, Val. Have a good time, whatever you're doing. Share, copy link. Let me go back over here. Paste. Yeah, so this guy has built like 2 of these along with other trucks, and he's done a fantastic job. Like, his craftsmanship is on another level. Waffles will be up to his size channel soon. Yes, Mike is very consistent in his uploads and stuff, and that, along with doing the things, this is what I think I've discovered about YouTube, is people like to watch the videos of the things they'll never be able to do, or they just don't have the ambition to do. So many people out there don't have a welder or know how to use one well enough to build like Mike does, and so they enjoy watching him do something they're never going to be able to do. There's huge channels out there like Mr. Beast, the biggest channel on YouTube, and he is literally doing all kinds of things that no one will ever be able to do, and so they love it. They get popular doing that. I like to bring people along, so I want to create something that's repeatable that other people can create. Yeah, you guys should be able to click that link above. You can see. You're live with me right now. Oh, man. Wait. Stay. Hang on. Watch this. Can you read that? I'm going outside for a minute. You're coming with me. We're taking a field trip. leave the studio. This is the upstairs of my garage. Oh, in case you were wondering, I got in flying last summer. I got like 14 planes. Oh, this is fun. Okay, those other things are for my wife. I'll leave them there because I'll come back in the house. Look, this is my house. It is so small. That's one end, that's the other end. And that's as tall as it is. So funny story about this truck, and this is a truck, because I just showed you, is I was laying in bed one night, can't sleep, so I'm watching 2FM RC. If you haven't seen his channel, definitely check him out. That guy's super down to earth, like all of us. Most of us RC people. Not all of us are down to earth. Some of us are real jackasses. Anyway, oh, Valerie's back. Welcome back. So yeah, he is doing a review on this truck, and I'm watching it. I'm like, I've been wanting to get one of those. And then he posts, hey, it's available at Fair RC. So I go on Fair RC. There's a sales tax in Maine. Fair RC doesn't charge the sales tax. So I'm like, yes, please. 99 bucks shipped without tax. I'm so stoked. What color do you think I got? It says it here, but I don't know if I passed that end in front of the camera. So you let me know what you think color I got. And I'm going to pull this out here. We're going to check it out together. Oh, my desk is covered in parts. So anyway, I have a fun money budget, which is basically my RC budget. And I had enough money sitting there. I'm like, I'm buying this truck tonight instead of sleeping. I never do that. I wait so long before I buy a truck. I look at deals. I am the kind of person that does not impulse buy ever. It's stuck. How do they hold you in there, little rascal? Granny and Donna are right. It's red. And it's a sparkly red. Like real automotive paint. You probably can't see it because the video quality is not good enough. But, I'm going to cut the bottom off of this, and we're going to see how this is being held on. It looks like it might be just tape or something. Well, RC Granny, you know what is it? It's like a stock market thing. When the stock goes down, you buy more, and it actually defers like the loss that you've gotten. So instead of spending, $115 for your truck, you've spent $215 on 2 trucks, which really brings it down to like $107.50. But I don't know if it was $100 for you because Aussie dollars, versus US dollars. It is just tape on. not just taped on. They've got it zip tied at the axles too. You know, one day I'm going to see a picture of RC Granny, and I'm going to know, is RC Granny a granny? First thing I did. I love that that's the first thing I did. Is I did that because why not? Oh, this thing's sick. If this has the PH2 connector, I might have a battery partially charged already for it. I think this is the Dumbo RC. Oh, guess what? I have a crap ton of batteries sitting right here. Donna said, you could have sent that to my house to babysit, Granny. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you take good care of it. But like I said before, you don't actually have to care for these. They just exist without you. And Velcro, is that what we're doing here? Yep, Velcro. We have, how many milliamps? 380. Nice. 350 come in the SCX24s. And, oh, it's not a PH connector. This is a, what is this? My micro planes come with this connector. I might change it. You know what? I'll probably just make an adapter because I have the ability to do that. What is going on there? Oh, it's the power switch. And they just bent the pins down. This is weird. Right here, these are all little pins that are supposed to stick straight up, and those two wires coming out of it, that's your power switch. I don't know why there's 6 wires on a power switch though. I'm pretty stoked for this. I think I'm just gonna plug it in, and whatever the battery has for power is what we're gonna get, because I'm not crawling this around right now. I'll do a video on it in a little bit. I have big plans for this though, like I do for everything. You might as well have big plans, right? I think I'm gonna put a magnet on it though instead of Velcro, because I like magnets better. They align the body for you. The Velcro allows you to put it on crooked. Nobody likes that. Are you guys the kind of people that buy merch from your favorite YouTubers? Not that you would buy my merch if I had it, because I'm not even assuming that I'm your favorite. But are you those kind of people? Like Waffles merch. Do you buy Waffles merch? This way and this way. It's live. It's alive. So is... Well, it was. Oh, it's on. It just... It's so quiet. Val doesn't have the money to buy people's merch. I get it. These D-rings on the front are legit. They actually are. So they were both tucked up to the bumper like this, and I thought they were just molded in, but they're not. They pull away. That means I can use these. I may have to make metal ones, but I can use these to tow the truck when it has a tumble, because that's going to happen. You can't have a recovery vehicle if there's nothing to recover. Ready? Had to be done. Had to be done. You know what I like about the FMS cars? They basically all come with 2-speed transmissions. It is like... So this is low speed. High speed. Basically sounds the same. This comes with a Y-Link upper and... Yeah, you're just 2 links on the lower. Oh, yes. Freaking right, dude. Are you guys thinking what I'm thinking? It's a longer wheelbase. It's a longer wheelbase. This actually, I think, is... You bought stickers from Waffles. Awesome. Yeah, the fact that it's quiet is so satisfying, if that's what you're talking about. So this is 3 channels plus lights. So is that more than 3 channels? I know there's a way to turn the lights on. You push the bind button. That's often what they do. Yep. Bind button turns on headlights. And then... Oh, there are no tail lights. Are there light buckets? Yes, there are. And guess what? I have LEDs. I wonder if these LEDs fit in those light buckets. I don't know if they're the right color. Oh, they do. They fit perfectly. I will be putting LEDs in these taillights. I just need to find the red ones, because they're all clear when they're off, but the red ones are red when they're on. I think I have, I'm not sure. These might all be white. I've got another package of bigger ones. It's what I used inside of the mark lights on top of this thing. I've got like yellowish looking ones and the headlights. Oh, the headlights work on this. Yeah. I have a 6-channel radio for this truck and I ran out of channels. So right now I don't have the ability to shift because I wanted my light bar to work. And by work, I mean I can turn it on and off and change the modes for it. Because it's cool to like pull up to a wreck and then turn the light bar on. I like doing that. I'm interested though. The width on this and the width on this. Now, would a Tacoma, an 18th scale Tacoma, be that big to an 18th scale Bronco? Now, I think, this is from the top. I think if I were to put that up against the F-150, the answer is yes. Back up so they both fit in there. This is really an 18th scale Tacoma, which I don't care what they call it because it plays well with others. I have a 24th scale Raptor, and this is also supposed to be 24th scale, but the Tacoma is actually bigger than the Raptor, which is not how that is in real life for 24th scale vehicles. Now this is a 25th scale body on an SCX 24. So yeah, these two are not in the same realm as far as scale goes, even though they're both supposed to be 24th-ish. The body's 25th, but that should be such a small difference, it doesn't matter. But this plays well, or it goes well scale-wise with the TRX-4Ms and the other 18 scale trucks, which is really what I'm after, because I like playing with those. This was just a fun thing to do, 24 scale-wise. and I put magnets on it. What I should do is take the Jeep body that I have, put magnets on that, and then I can just swap them back and forth, and it can be whatever I want. Oh, so stoked on this. I want to put it somewhere in the background where you can see it while I continue cleaning up. I might be done cleaning up now that this is here. You have the Ford F-150. What color do you have, Donna? I was looking at the colors and I was just like, I don't know. The brown is cool. And normally I'm not a brown guy, like, for anything. I just don't like that color. But the brown on that truck is awesome. Not as cool as the black. Nice job. You got the black one. But it is friggin' cool. I do have to get the lights for up here. And I'm going to buy the light kit for this at some point. It's only 25 bucks, which is fantastic. I got the light kit for the Bronco. And it love it. I was playing with it on the couch. My wife is like, can you point that somewhere else? That is so bright. I went, yes, I can, because you're not kicking me out of the house to play with it. You just put the wash out? Nice. So you are a granny. Only a granny would put the wash out. 32 degrees Celsius. Hey Siri, what's 32 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit? That's almost 90 degrees. That is hot. That's very warm. You have both the High Trail and the monster truck. In the 24, you mean the TRX 4M, which is 18th, I think, because High Trail is a TRX 4M thing. 24, 18, it's 36 in the shade. That's like 100 here in Freedom units. Wow. What part of Australia are you in? The desert? Somewhere in the outback? G'day, mate. Get some rhubargas. I had an Australian once tell me that I pronounce R's wrong because I pronounce a hard R. And I was like, no, I just pronounce the R. It's not hard. It's just there. And Aussies pronounce the R if it's at the beginning of the word, or like the second letter. There's a guy from New Zealand I used to do some work for. You have roos in your yard. That's great. Do they go after your wash? Or do they leave it alone? He's from New Zealand, and his thing was no dramas, meaning like you mess something up, don't worry about it. It's gonna get fixed. No, nobody's getting upset. It's no drama. But that's one of my favorite phrases to say. No dramas. What do you guys do with these little accessory packs? Do you leave them in the box? Or do you take the parts out and go, this part's going to go here, that part's going to go there, the little wheel wrench is going to go with the wheel wrenches? Because I'm a mixed bag on what to do with these. I used to just leave them in the box because I kept the boxes for everything. But when you start to collect stuff, I barely have room for the trucks, let alone the boxes. I should probably just take it apart and, you know, it comes with the 2 extra grills. The one in there says Toyota, which I really like. And this one, it comes with a, is that a, bumper? Skid plate? Maybe it's just a different bumper. But I do like, I think that I like the Toyota word better than the Toyota symbol on the front. It's kind of like the Ford word instead of the Ford symbol on the front of the Raptor. I like that. Valerie found $1 on the floor. Hey, you know, making money. flatten the boxes and hang them on the walls. I have seen guys do that. They'll take the front panel, whatever is the most like art worthy, and put it on the wall. So this is an idea. And you're probably the only people to hear this other than my wife, all three of you. I want to put my MSB logo up here, but I want to do it because this is the ceiling and that's a wall. I want to do it in a way that's an optical illusion, so it looks like MSB, you're looking at it flat like a sign, but it's distorted on the ceiling. So when you see it in the camera, it looks like it's going into the ceiling and it's on the wall, but it just distorts and comes all the way out here. I'll figure out how to do that one day and I'll paint it on the wall and the ceiling. Good day, Crawler Mad. I'm doing good. It's good evening here. It is 7:30 p.m. Yeah, I do have some of the boxes stacked up here, but I noticed that in some of my videos it kind of looks like it's just trash. This poster that fell down, is an old school Burton Snowboards poster. And the reason I have it, it's beeping at me because I haven't used it. Oh, and it's off. But it's beeping. Unless the battery's low. And that's why it's beeping. Well, it's working now. Anyway, I have it because I am a very avid snowboarder. I was snowboarding yesterday. And so that is like vintage snowboard memorabilia, if you will. Also, this sign right here where it says ride, that is an unused sign from a mountain I used to work at, and they were throwing it away, so I took it. But the blue square means intermediate terrain on a ski area. So if you ever go snowboarding or skiing, go towards the green circles and away from the black diamonds. Black diamond are most difficult. If you see a double black diamond, that does not mean easier expert terrain. It means more difficult expert terrain. Just a heads up. Ugh. Dude, it's got little mesh on the rack here. I want IFS on this thing, and then it would be the most scale ever. But I probably have to make a custom IFS just for this one, because everything's different dimensions than the TRX4M. Plus, it doesn't have the same wheel stance. So it's tight and smooth. I love new trucks. They are just tight and smooth. You have a truck for a while that's really been beat up, starts grinding gears, and I mean, you can take it apart and clean it and replace the parts that need to be replaced and all that stuff. There is that option. And of all people on YouTube, I should do that because that's kind of what my channel's about, making stuff better. But I think you can put turn indicators in this and secondary lights as well. Yes. So if I get close, maybe you can see it better. It'll adjust. Inside, there's another space for an LED inside there. And then below, in this little, let me shut that off. In this little diffused part below, that looks like there's space for an LED there too, like a turn signal, which I will never activate turn signals. If you listen to Tom Lee, he's going to tell you that they are silly. Actually, he'll tell you that if they had a switch for a turn signal, that would be ideal, because just turning and having your turn signal comes on, stupid. If I paid a skier board, I go to the hard stuff to get my money's worth. It's the fun factor. If you have fun on the hard stuff, do it. That was explaining trail difficulty to people who've never been there, because if you've never gone, you don't know that you need a lesson. You don't know that you don't know how to use the equipment. You don't know that you don't know how to ride a lift. Do they have skiing in Australia, or is it just New Zealand? Okay. So Granny goes skiing. So Granny is not a granny. Donna's too old and disabled to go skiing. You know what's funny? The oldest, so I used to teach snowboarding. I have to reinstate my certification membership and stuff, because my wife got sick when I got married, and I wasn't able to maintain the dues and go to events and stuff because they're expensive. But she's doing better now. So I need to just get my certs back up to date. Where was I going with that? I was based on somebody's comment. Donna is too old and disabled. The oldest person I ever had in a lesson was 85, and he started snowboarding when he was like 81. And they actually have adaptive skiing, so it kind of doesn't matter what your disability is. They can put you on snow and slide you, but they do make sure that you don't get hurt. They have these really cool sleds. It's not a sled, it's like an apparatus that you sit in, like a wheelchair, but your feet are up higher, and it's got suspension and a ski on the bottom, just one ski, and people ski around on them. You probably see them in the Olympics. They do skier cross, adaptive skier cross, if you watch the Winter Olympics. Granny used to ski and snowboard, but after a back injury, you don't know. Granny is nearly that age, but is Granny a granny? Yo, I'm skiing and snowboarding 6 hours away. Nice. Surgery isn't really healed. You do want to be healed before you go out and do extreme sports. I tore my ACL on my 30th birthday. My wife's ex-husband, because I was friends with him at the time, before she and I got married. She was actually married to him at the time, so he was her current husband, but a good friend of mine, and fell on my knee, tore my ACL. Years later, they got divorced, and she and I started hanging out. And funny story also, I liked her well before she even met him and married him, so dibs, right? What else? All right, clean this off. I'm gonna drive this thing back and forth, and you guys can watch me because it's fun. These go in the axle bag. Dibs. Yep. I will know what that is for, probably. Let's set it over there. SCX24 front axles and bushings and bearings. And I have to cross out this TRX4M IFS thing on this bag. I'm gonna call it Tiny Truck Parts. This is good. It keeps me, having you guys around keeps me on task. Kind of. I mean, kind of. I normally wouldn't come out here and just sit and be like, oh, let me sort through a bunch of parts. But right now I am. Tiny truck parts. At the other end of this axle, this drive shaft go. I do like to put my drive shafts together so I have both ends. Waffles is driving, but Waffles is in the house. I usually have to stay on for I say usually. I've only been live one other time, but last time I stayed on for over an hour and then Waffles showed up. It's probably because it's like 4:45 in California and he's like, I'm busy doing stuff because my day's still going. Whereas in Maine, the opposite side of the country, I'm like, I'm done doing stuff for the day. Finally. Is Mike drive? Well, I'm not gonna ask Mike to respond because he's driving. He needs to keep driving. But it's good to have you in the house, Mike. Thanks for joining. You missed the big excitement though. And this just arrived right now. So I'm so stoked. I got it hooked up already. I'm just driving it around. Oh, I'm in high gear. Let's go into low gear. That's better. It is slightly more whiny in low gear, but normally vehicles are, but only slightly. It's still very quiet for a truck this size. I think the SCX-24s are so loud. I got a TRX 4M. I didn't know a tiny truck could be so quiet. So you guys were doing a live stream like, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, Mike, and I was like, they do have a tiny Toyota Tacoma. I didn't remember who was coming out with it, and I don't remember why I knew that, because I went looking afterwards, and I was like, I think I just lied to him, because I can't even find it. But yeah, legitimate Toyota licensed. I know you're not into the tiny trucks, and it's okay you're not into tiny trucks, but you don't have to build this one. It comes like that. I got the red one because I like red. Does need my IFS mic because that would make it more scale. And I cannot wait for that. You know, FMS kind of does a lot of weird things. But one of the things I can appreciate is that they've got a 24th scale chassis and they have an 18th scale chassis. And it's like, you can put the Taco on the 24th scale chassis and you could put like, I don't know, this on the 18th scale chassis and the scale just works. And I wish more companies would do that, because you can't just blow this body up and stick it on there and be like, yeah, it's 18th scale, because it's not anymore. It's on an 18th scale chassis, sure, but that's not how real vehicles are made. I know why they do it, because it's easy to build one chassis and put a bunch of bodies on it. But if you built like 2 or 3 different chassis, or they don't even have to be 3 different chassis, you like shorten the track width, so you do like maybe not even different axles, you just put axle extensions on the bigger ones, and then you put longer links on them and longer drive shaft on the rear. That's really all it would have to be, is just a longer rear end to get the wheelbase to make it more scale. I should start an RC company. I'm sure I would get rich off that. That's a joke, because we have kind of a small community. I love how RC Granny's like, Mike, you know M needs this. Dude, I'm so stoked on this truck though. I'm gonna pull the battery out so I don't forget. I don't know how much longer I can be on, because I saw a text message come through from somebody that might need to chat. Oh, this radio is pretty okay too. Really convenient for one-handed driving. Very nice for one-handed driving. But it's also okay for two-handed driving. It doesn't feel tiny. I mean, you look at this versus that. I mean, you got all of this stuff out here, which probably doesn't do anything. The circuitry in here is probably pretty compact. They put the batteries right in the handle instead of the batteries under here. Something about this, it's like power tool, you know, set it down on the batteries, but I don't know. There's nothing in the handle. I've taken these apart. There's literally just nothing there. It's the wire for power. So, is this Dumbo RC? Is that who makes this? G3 V3. I do like how it's a 3-channel. It's technically 4, I guess, because you hit the bind button and the lights change. So that's like another signal going over to it. Do the IFS. Do it. Well, I want to, but there's another IFS I really need to start working on. And I might start working on that other one first. Yeah. Little Guy Racing Parts did this before. This is all very old IFS prototypes. I keep things. I'm so nostalgic. I'm like, sentimental. Sentimental is the word, not nostalgic. So sentimental that I keep all of this stuff because I'm like, I'd love to show somebody one day, like, all the originals. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares. But this, LGRP, Little Guy Racing Parts, yeah. Little Guy Racing Parts came out with this before Shapeways was sold and then stopped and restarted. But they had these files on Shapeways, and so you could buy from Shapeways SCX24 front end IFS. I bought the high-end material and stuff. The ball ends aren't great. I tried hogging them out a little bit to make it work better, and it still doesn't work great. But it's like stock SCX24 ball ends that are supposed to go in there. So you just put, well, they also give you the steering knuckles. Or you can buy the steering knuckles as a file. And so this is supposed to go right in there. And you have, fingers keep getting in the way. Anyway, you have your IFS. And then this is your diff housing for the worm gear and everything. Like, it's just so great. Kind of. The parts are super well done. I think Little Guy Racing Parts did a great job putting it together. And I want to put this on something. It might be too wide. I'm a little concerned that it's too wide. Like, these arms stick out almost to the outside. Let me see if I can do this so you can see. Like, if I separate these arms so they're all the way out, they stick out almost to the outside of these wheels, which means the wheel would sit outside of that, and then this truck would just be way too wide in the front end. But if I redesigned these A-arms, which actually wouldn't be that hard, I could use this main part of the chassis and it would bolt up to the rails for an SCX24. I don't know if it would bolt up to this. It does replace the skid on this, so this would go like that up in there in between the chassis rails. Thinking big ideas. And it comes with like its own steering rack, which didn't fit very well. Anyway, this slides back and forth. I sanded it down quite a bit and it slides better now, but I probably will have to sand it down even more. I just got to be careful that I don't make it sloppy. But yeah, this has potential for this. I also might build this into this thing. Although this is more TRX 4M sized, it's a Nissan Frontier. But because this is more TRX 4M sized, I could use the IFS off the Bronco, like print another one of those to go under here, which was the original plan, and I will probably still do that because then this one's just like straight up TRX 4M. So exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. Well, this is Tiny Truck Parts. So Tiny Truck Parts goes in a bin somewhere. This is TRX 4M IFS. Oh man, so excited, bro. So excited. That's what I'm looking for. I just got to check some text messages. I do not have to go tonight. Ergenix. This is the battery, it's 450 milliamp hours. It's perfect SCX24 size. I wonder. This is the battery for the FCX24M. This one's 380 milliamp hours. This one's 450. They say 450, but this is almost the exact same size as the 350 that comes stock in the SCX24s. And it does fit quite nicely in the FCX24M. This is not my first FMS truck. I think this is. This is fun. Not at all scale. This is like Mojave Grom or Traxxas Slash. Donna, you went and did dishes while I am live. I'm offended. Because I have the freedom to be offended. No, I don't care if you have to go do stuff. Like, don't apologize for not being part of the chat because you have a life to live. Oh my gosh. Maybe this will work. Although I don't know which one's positive and which one's negative. Hang on. Is black always negative, even if there's a white? So white would be positive? I think so. So if that's the case, this one goes like that. And if that plugs in there, I need to not try and plug this wrong plug, a JST plug, into the JST FC something, whatever they call that, and burn out my ESC before I even really get to drive this. Because that would be a bad idea. I need to just build an adapter and be good. Or I could cut the end off it and put a JST on it, because I have those. This is amazing to me. This tiny little truck for $100, and they put all of these little connections on it for lights and servos. You got a motor. They've got channel 1, which is your steering, and then they've got channel 3, which is your shifting, and then they have lights. So I could tie the tail lights into the headlights. It'd be cool if there was another channel. But what can you ask for $100, you know? Some of these Walmart pieces of crap are like 80 bucks, and they don't even have a real ESC in there. Test it with a meter. You're brilliant. I should do that. I do have a multimeter, it's just downstairs. And I already ran downstairs once, all excited, because this showed up. So Mike, I'm just sitting here doing my thing, talking nonsense, and I get a notification on my watch. Your package has arrived. I'm like, I run downstairs. I bring the live stream with me, and we all got to discover this together. You can go back and watch. It was fun. It was a blast. I'm gonna put these in this bag because I can. I like using clear bags because then you can see what's in there, but it keeps things from getting all jumbled up together. Yeah, I guess these are shock parts because it's ball links and then the little O-rings that go on those links to slide them into aluminum shocks. So that's good. And then we have shock collars. Shock collars should go with shocks. For the IFS, I 3D printed these huge shock collars. This is like something stock that comes on something else. And this is one that I printed. And it's like almost twice as tall. Just to get the amount of spring tension that I need for the IFS, because there's a lot of leverage on the springs when you do an IFS thing. What does that servo horn go to? Don't want to lose it. Put it with the servo things, but it's a specific servo thing. Put the servo things back in the drawer. Put the mini servo things back in the drawer. I don't throw anything out when I replace stuff. I get a broken servo, I'm like, nope, save that. I've only been able to repair a servo like once or twice. And because I have a broken servo, you know, pull this gear out, put that gear in. But I generally just go and buy cheap servos in bulk, especially if I don't have anything specific for them to go into. I'm like, oh, I need a servo, let me buy this pack of 10. And then the next time I buy a different pack of 10 or a pack of 4, and nothing lines up with those. So like those 4, those 10 that I bought will have interchangeable parts, but the things after that don't. Maybe I should stop doing that and just buy like reputable ones. Again, you go and buy, oh, the other LEDs. Look at this. I got colors. Green and yellow and bright yellow and white. And then resistors to go on them, because LEDs are only good for so many volts. And you don't want to overvolt them, because you'll burn them up. These LEDs need to go in here also. These are the blue ones. which are probably really closer to a bright white than they are blue. A smoke show coming, Granny? What do you mean by smoke show? I know that was a few minutes ago. Maybe more than a few minutes ago. I've noticed as I get older, I go, oh, that was the other day. Just 5-10 years ago. Not the other day. Oh, perfect. The shipping box for my FMS is where I can stick all these little parts. Put LEDs in here too. I'm cleaning up, Mike. It's great. Oh, I know what these brackets are for. These brackets came in the electric ram to tilt the bed for my 6x6. That's what those are from. And this, are these the current parts? These are the old ones. These are the old ones. Is there anything in there that I need? What's this? TRX4M. And these are LEDs. I'll put that in the LED package, even though it's not like straight up LEDs. Man, design is crazy. We've got so many versions of things, and you're like, this would be great. I know there's been a lot of people on my channel that have said, can I have your old ones that you're not using? And I'm like, no, there's not a lot of people. I lied. There's like one guy. He sent me an Instagram message, asked me if he could have the old ones. And I was like, bro, I'll print you out a current one that works so much better and just send that to you. And I did. Some of these actually look like they would work well. Like that one and that one. Maybe I'll hang on to these two. That one definitely not. This one definitely maybe. No, that one's broken. That's gotta go. What am I building? HTXRC. I'm actually cleaning up. But I'm looking at these 3D printed parts. Oh, and that one's got the other half of the broken piece off of that one. Just looking at these parts that I 3D printed for the 24 scale, no, 18 scale IFS, specifically for the TRX4M, and trying to figure out if I can keep this or if I need to toss it because it's no good for anything else. And I think this one is okay to keep for now. It would save me from having to reprint some things. I can like just print a couple of things instead of a lot of things. But yeah, that's an old version. Get rid of that. It's a really old version. Get rid of that. I only have one upper arm. No, are these both lower arms? They're both lower arms, but they're two different versions of the lower arm. So, yep, those can go. I want to get this screw out though, because it still works. Been on for an hour and a half. My wife went to a movie tonight with some friends because she often doesn't feel well, and when she can go out and do something, she likes to do that. Although sometimes she feels too well, and then she overdoes it, and she's not well again for a few days. But we need social interactions, otherwise we go mad. We're designed to be interactive with others. servo horn. Looks like it's still good. And a couple little screws. So they will go with my little screw things. But they're Phillips screws. I don't know if I want those. No, my wife has an autoimmune disease called polymyositis. And she didn't when we got married 5 years ago. But then she got COVID, and that induced Lyme disease, which they think was dormant in her body. And then as she fought off Lyme disease, her body developed this autoimmune disease. And so we've been working on that for 4 years, something like that. So she's not very strong, but she is relatively independent. There was a while, like, she couldn't get up from a seated position by herself. It was pretty bad. It was all she could do to get out of bed in the morning. So, we don't love that, but... And maybe we'll end up there again. I hope not. For both of our sakes. Little bearings. Oh, right. This Mias. Where should these bearings go in there? If I'm looking for bearings, I'm probably looking in here. Because I have other bearings in there. Mias. Endura? Mias. Mias Endura. I don't know where to put this, except in tiny truck parts. I got some links. Link ends. Yeah, Donna, it sucks. But we move forward. We are Christians, so we go to church. I actually serve pretty heavily at my church. But God is a big part of our lives. I don't know how people do it without him, really. Because I would be a terrible person if I was not a Christian. Ugh. Just thinking about it makes me go like, wow. Velcro. Is this battery Velcro? I think it might be for my flight planes. What other kind of plane would you have if it doesn't fly? I do have some planes that did not fly well. So I guess you could have some non-flight planes. What else is in here that needs to come out? Tiny truck parts. TRX4M question mark. Thanks, Granny. You know what's funny is, like, when you see the humanity in somebody, you really, I don't know if connection's the right word, but you at least have sympathy for them. When people are behind a screen, like if you're playing video games with them, or cars especially, like road rage, happens a lot because people do not see the humanity in the other person in the other car. It's just a car. Even though you're like, what is this guy doing? You're referring to him as a person, but you don't actually see their humanity. So, hearing people's stories, it's good. It's always a good thing. What do I do with these wheels? These are the wheels that came on the model kit. That is this truck. So this is like a scale-sized wheel for that truck. And it is rubber, but it's like a hockey puck. It's literally so hard. I think my next video, if I can make the time, I probably won't over the Thanksgiving weekend because I'll be at my parents' house, which is like 3 hours away. And so I'm not going to bring like tools and parts and stuff to do a video. But I could do like some cinematic video stuff. But what my next video will probably be, sneak peek, is this body on this truck. This is going to be like deja vu for Mike because he was here the last time when I talked about this. But the wheelbase is perfect. I just have to cut out the body for the back of the roll cage here and figure out how to get some magnets in there in places that work to hold it on, so I can just pop one body off, pop the other one on. This is more of a short course style. And if you're wondering where I got this, it was from Walmart. It was like 14 bucks, 15 bucks US. And it comes on a monster truck chassis, which is the weirdest thing. It seems like you would just put a regular truck on it if you're not going to do like something licensed like Gravedigger or whatever. This is the truck. So it was like that. It's the Hyper Toy Company. Hyper Toy Co. I didn't even pull it out of the box. There were screws on top. I pulled the screws, pulled the body out. Like, there we go. So 14 bucks for a body for one of these things is actually not a bad deal if it works well. Which I think it will. It'll look like a hydroplane. There is a plane that doesn't fly. It's a hydroplane. I like that, Mike. Yeah, so that'll be my next video because it'll be simple and right up my alley. I love videos that are up my alley. Yes, tiny truck parts, and then the rest of everything else in here. Ooh, that's a tiny truck part, but what does it go to? I have no idea what this goes to. But it is clearly molded plastic, very specific. It had a couple screw holes in it. Is it a like a battery tray thing? Yeah, like the edge of a battery tray. It's got some marks on it around the screw holes. And then this is the hitch for the SCX-24. So that needs to go into tiny truck parts. Bodies are the hardest thing that I try to figure out, because I literally do not have the skill to come up with something like that, or the means, really. But if I can get my hands on one of those, I build whatever underneath it. Case in point. So I really love it when RC companies do scale bodies. Even if they just make a body, like Proline makes all kinds of bodies, and they go, well, here's a body for a crawler. And you go, great, I can take that and build whatever else up I want underneath it. Are you kidding me? Double Clutch Productions is in the chat. Welcome, guest of honor. He's like who I aspire to be on YouTube, kind of, is that guy right there. Oh, Double Clutch, check this out. It's like a micro Nightcrawler. I cannot wait to get this out and just drive around with it. It does need some IFS though. So maybe I'll design something for that. I'm killing you, Smalls. Eat it, of course. No, chew it, of course, because that's when they were going on the tilt-a-whirly thingy. And it's got 2-speed, so if I put a faster motor in this, it's basically fast enough to pre-run. Which I should be able to do. I should find some inexpensive, low-turn brush motors for these things, because then you don't have to swap ESCs and all of that stuff to go brushless. We can just pre-run brushed stuff in these tiny trucks. That's super cool. So I'm just cleaning up. Well, I've been cleaning up, kind of, but also exploring my workstation, because I haven't spent a lot of time up here. I've been working a lot. I got into flying last year, which if you've been in the chat for a while, I already said that. But that was like all of my RC time last year. Got into it June of 2024, and it is so much fun. I'll never stop flying, but I'm starting to balance out and get, like, when the weather's not good, I play with trucks instead of trying to go fly anyway in the wind and then being upset when I crashed my plane because it was windy and I shouldn't have done that. But this truck is great. And I think the best part about this truck is that it's modern, it's attractive, and it's scale. It's like if you took a Tacoma and put a lift kit in it and wheel spacers on it, that's basically what you've got here. Off-road package. You just threw an off-road package on it. Whereas like some of these other trucks, like this is not a scale truck. It's the FMS Chaser. The wheels stick out beyond the body. It does have a solid rear axle, which is impressive, but it's short and it's wide. Very wide and very short. In fact, the wheelbase is shorter than the Taco, but it's wider by a lot. So it is a fun truck to drive because it's very stable from being so wide. But they also call this 24 scale, and I don't know how you get that. Like, there's no way these things are the same scale. This is just, I like to think of scale as what size would be the person that sits in there, and that's what I judge the scale on. I would say that's a strong 18th scale, but it's even too wide for 18th scale. The Night Walker is solid front axle. The Night Runner, I believe, has the IFS 2 on it. And somebody, I think it was Tom Lee, yeah, he got the Night Walker and was like, this thing's not scale, it's got a solid front axle, guys. And then they send him this picture that is like, it's the full version that truck is modeled after, and it is huge. Like, the thing has, I don't know, 40-inch wheels on it, but it's got a solid front axle. It is a serious Tacoma. Like, oh no, this is what it's modeled after. Okay, well, yep. If you're modeling it after that, you nailed it. I gotta fix my UDR. Yeah, Night Walker. The Night Walker's the red one, right? I think it's the red one. My UDR is rear-wheel drive only right now. I think I broke the pin that goes through the drive shaft into the front diff. I do have one of these though. And because it's got like this fender flare looking body, I'm just gonna put trailing arms on it and some sort of roll cage thing, cut up the bed a little bit, tire carrier, and obviously it's got to go faster. But I do want to turn this into a pre-runner. And with the tire carrier, the tires will sit out back here and make it feel longer, because these tires feel like they're too close to the rear end. And it's got light buckets all the way around. So I can put lights in this. I'm stoked for that. a Nightwalker. Double Clutch says he needs to do a Nightwalker IFS 2. Yep, it's the red one. With the flared body and roll bars in the bed. Yes, so the Nightwalker, the Night Customs version of the Tacoma, is that a different body? It's not a flared body. Guys, there's still so much to clean up, but I kind of lost ambition for it. My workspace is cleaner. I just got to go get my screw containers and sort these screws into it. Tools. I need a place to put tools also. The shelf right here, it just like everything migrates to the shelf really easily because I'm like, oh, just set it there out of my way. I got 1,000 of these tiny little bags. That'll be good to sort things in later. Okay, the red body has the flared ones compared to the Night Runner. I didn't know they were different. I thought they were the same body. But the Night Walker with the flares would make for a better pre-runner body, I think. That would be cool. I still also want a, what do you call it? You don't know because you're not in my brain. I want Kyosho, the Rampage Pro. I know you took the IFS off of that for like one of your early builds. But I just like that truck as it is also. And now that Element makes the IFS 2, you got a great IFS with the 4-wheel drive. So I would probably get the Kyosho Outlaw and just run it the way it is. Maybe not even upgrade the motor. It's like fast enough. And then I looked up bodies for that. I gotta finish the sentence. And then build whatever else I want for custom. But I looked up bodies for the Kyosho Rampage. You're almost better off buying another truck. It's like, I don't even know if they make the body by itself anymore. It's like $150 or something stupid for the body. You can't believe you cannibalized that truck for your Toyota. Dude, it was a great build though. It was awesome. Oh, dude, just take the body from the Kyosho and build some mounts to go onto the Toyota. Because if your wheelbase is the same, it should just, everything else should line up. And then you basically have the Rampage, and you fix the one flaw with it, which is the motor on axle. I'm so full of good ideas. I say that in jest, because I assume people do not take my ideas if they do not want them. As a general rule, you're free to make your own choices. Yeah, that's one of those trucks that's always going to be on my bucket list until I get one. But the kit is still available, even on AMain, I think for $240 it is now. It was $219 for the longest time. Oh, you took the flares off the Kyosho body and put them on your 4Runner. Yes, I do love fender flares, man. I absolutely love fender flares, which is why I built this thing. This originally was one of these bodies, which is just a 25th scale Ford Raptor from Revel. It's a model kit. I put it on an SCX 24 with magnets. And after a while, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? I want a trophy truck. So I took the same body and cut off the fenders. Took little pieces of plastic so I could move them out and like glued them back together. I think I used JB Weld, and then filled it back in, did all the body work to create this little gem. Motor on axle delete for the Kyosho. That's cool. Fender flares? Waffle says. I try not to run fenders at all. I added the at all. You guys can see his comments. Who cares? Yeah. It's just let the wheels hang out there. He's more buggy style, I think. There's nothing wrong with that. Buggies are sick. Was it your stream, Mike? Maybe it was Trey's, where I started talking about the Capo Queen. It's made by, who's the parent company? I don't remember, but if you look up Capo Queen, they're like $2,500. Essentially a UDR without the body. And I want to get one and put a body on it, but they're like $2,500. It's completely aluminum though. Like the amount of precision that went into building that Capo Queen is insane. It's unbelievable. So I want to get one of those. That might be like my ultimate bucket list truck. Just because it's so expensive. I don't know that I ever see myself spending that much money on an RC. A single RC vehicle. I know I've spent more than that collectively, but have you guys seen see you later, Granny, have a good day, or a good day as they say in the Outback. Have you guys seen is it Sycon XC? Anyway, it's a guy who was doing a YouTube channel for years. Not years, maybe 2 years is how long he did it. And he didn't even put that many videos out. But I started following him at like 60,000 subscribers, 50,000, something like that. And he hadn't put out a video for years. And he just kept growing. Like he's over 80,000 subscribers. And he would build custom cage. Yeah, Double Clutch knows what I'm talking about. Some of the most insane, he's just way ahead of his time, I think, for YouTube in that world. But he's basically, if you took Double Clutch and Waffles and put them together as one channel, that's this guy. But some of the most insane builds, and he'd use Axial Yeti Score parts, like the suspension and drivetrain and stuff, in this truck. Full roll cage build, all the little tubes. I still go back and I like watching his videos, and I've seen him multiple times. The Minimum Zeus was, or the Zeus truck was fantastic. All right, Donna, see you later. Peace out, Cub Scout. Yeah, he's got one video where he built these little whoops ramps. Mini Zeus. Yes, Minimum Zeus. I mean, we could probably make a smaller one, and that would be the Minimum Zeus. He's got these little ramps, and this truck is just flying across these whoops ramps. And then he's got another truck that's a crawler that's also trying to do it. The truck is just bouncing all over the place. Solid axle, front and rear. And then this thing comes across, it's just... But his slow motion stuff is on another level. It's so inspiring, really, when it comes to cinematography and RC stuff. It's probably one of the greatest, I might say the greatest trophy truck RC content I've seen on YouTube so far. And I say that cautiously because I'm thinking, and I'm always looking for trophy truck stuff. I would just randomly will search it, and once in a while a video pops up, and then I see like somebody like Patrick's RC doing stuff, and I'm like, there it is. Follow that guy. Yeah, Double Clutch, huge inspiration for you. It's so great. He has like the siren going that they have when they're running races and coming up behind people. It's so fun. I want to, I have this cable cam system, the wire all light. I mean, you could do it with a drone. It'd be easier if you had a drone. And I say that because here's the charger for the battery for it. It runs on a 3S battery, but you can put a GoPro or a phone mount or even like a mirrorless camera on it, and it'll zip real fast. Hi, Layla. Welcome. But it'll zip really fast down that line, and I want to set that up. There's a spot I call the dunes that I go and play with trucks, and just set up a really scale-looking course and send it. And get some real scale-looking footage. But that would be my goal, is to trick people. That's what Big America does. He said, he was interviewed by another YouTuber, and he said that he's gotten emails from people who do monster truck events. They're like, hey, we want you to come do our monster truck event. And he's like, this is a tiny truck, right? It's not a real truck. Oh, that's funny. So I'd love to do content like that for trophy trucks and actually fool people. So that would be fun. But yep, I might be done for the evening, unless somebody has a lot of questions, some really questions. The mirrors on this thing are actually reflective. Look at that. That's cool. Well, this was fun. We'll do it again sometime. Thank you for joining Double Clutch. That's super great. I'm glad you're in the chat. Mike, I will see you later. Who else is still in here? We got 5 people still on. I think Granny left, Donna left. Layla might still be here. Layla is the daughter of one of my best friends. So I've been bugging her on YouTube. Now it's her turn. She's bugging me on YouTube. So anyway, you guys have a good night. Enjoy your evening. Happy Thanksgiving, because you're not going to see anything from me until after that. And just keep having fun. Do what you do. Enjoy life, because it's too short to not enjoy it. Later, skater.